With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Prevnar. Naperville is celebrating Beth Ward as the 2025 Telecommunicator of the Year during the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. According to the Naperville Police Department, Beth, who has dedicated nearly 4 years to serving the community, stands out not just as a telecommunicator, but as the lead telecommunicator and tactical dispatcher. Kane County Under Sheriff Amy Johnson is preparing to run for sheriff in 2026, backed by outgoing Sheriff Ron Hain. Johnson, who first joined the sheriff's office in 2004, is seeking the Democratic nomination, and her bid marks a significant chapter as she aims to become the first woman to be elected Kane County Sheriff. The U46 Educational Foundation is hosting its 5th annual 5K Walk for Autism Acceptance on Saturday, April 26th at Centennial Elementary School, 234 East Stearns Road in Bartlett. The event is scheduled to run from 9:30 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400 and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, a strong chance of showers and thunderstorms with cloudy skies and a high near 64. Temperatures falling to around 57. Gusty winds with speeds up to 35 miles per hour. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms likely, mostly cloudy with a low around 56. Currently, it is 57 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though Regular You burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why Regular You gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hello, everybody. This is Matt McNeil here on A Political Talk Show. Hopefully you are enjoying the afternoon so far here I am currently filling in just for a little tad bit here until Sonar hops on. Thank you so much for tuning in today here on WRMN AM 1410. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the day so far today. It's a little bit, well, I would definitely say it's quite overcast outside today. That is what we are, of course, seeing here. We see those temperatures and the weather continuing to be a little bit more on the rainy side of things. What I will do is I will run through some of the traffic with you here today until we get Sonar on here for a political talk show. But if you want to be a part of the conversation, of course, you already know what to do. You can tune in through that AM 1410 dial. We also do have our text line. That number is 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. Sonar, of course, is always being a trooper. He is trying to beat this traffic here, and I will go through that traffic with you, of course. Absolutely. So let's see what we've got here for traffic for today, and we'll kind of show you exactly what we have. So taking a look as we get closer into the city, as expected here, it is that I guess you could say early bird rush, early bird that is early bird to get home from work. So that is on the busy work schedule, work home rush, where we tend to see a lot more busier traffic and possibly quite a few incidents, as I am seeing here as we get into Berkeley, Bellwood, Stone Park, and Elmhurst around that area on 294. We are seeing here quite a few little bit of partial constructions that are going on, which of course can stall that traffic. Around the surrounding areas there too, as we see it going more up north to Rosemont, a little section pocket here within Franklin Park where there is quite a bit of heavy traffic that we are noticing with those sensories there, but it then does start to clear up as we get into that crossway of 72 and also so it's 72 and then also crossing 294-90. Is where we're seeing a little bit more of a clearing there. And then it does go back a little bit further down as we get closer into the city. You cross over to where Wicker Park is. That is where we see a lot of very heavy traffic. Now, of course, further out closer into our area here in the Fox River Valley area, we see, of course, the traffic is still a little bit on the lighter side of things. Of course, traffic does tend to get a little bit heavier when we do get around this time here, 4:35, 5:30 or so, just due to the fact that we've got lots of people who are coming home from work, getting ready to go home to make or get ready for dinner or go out as well too. So we are seeing that traffic there, especially closer into the city, people coming home, arriving home. Lots of people in the city do travel quite far to get to their jobs and back home. So of course, this is around the time, the rush hour, where we do start to see that traffic get a little bit heavier there. But at least as of right now, within the Fox River Valley area, it is a little bit more on the clearer end, of course. Now, in terms of weather and temperatures here, the NBC Chicago maps and radar does say here, of course, that we are seeing a little bit more of the higher rain that we're seeing. So if we do take a look here into the weather within the Fox River Valley area, we do see a little bit more of the hourly forecast and weather. So currently right now within the 50s, early 50s, in terms of those temperatures there, we are going to continue to see that light rain continuing on throughout the rest of this night. Now, in terms of percentage at 81, we are seeing a current little bit of rain pouring down now. It's nothing that is it's nothing too heavy when it comes to the downpour, but we are seeing, though, that severe weather possibility that heads up there, especially into the very large hail prediction that we're going to be seeing for the Midwest. So make sure you're prepared for that, especially if you are out driving. So that hail threat is currently in operation right now. Could be seeing that, especially if you are driving for the Midwest area. We are going to be seeing that. So just make sure, of course, that you are making sure that you are, of course, safe when it does come to driving. So it does look like here I will be taking it until 5 o'clock. No worries there, of course. So I'll be taking it to 5 o'clock here. And then for the 5 to 6 o'clock hour there, it will be Sonar. So no worries there, of course. Stay tuned. Tune in here to WRMN AM 1410. as we broadcast here from Studio 14, serving you, the Fox River Valley area. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, of course, today and being a part of that conversation. Now, coming up tomorrow, of course, too, we do have some great shows. We have a good lineup of different guests as well, so please stay tuned for that. You'll be able to tune in on the YouTube side of things and, of course, also tune in on our Facebook page. We have our app. We also have our website and also the AM 1410 dial. So thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, Brendan, for joining in here on A Political Talk Show. I am filling in at the moment for Sonar until he gets things ready. He'll be coming back into the 5 o'clock hour. So we did go through a little bit of weather and also into some conversations here as well when it comes to what is expected for the traffic side of things. Speaking of conversations, as you might know, if those of you who have tuned into Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410, you might have known, of course, that I do like to bring up a lot of good conversations on a website called theconversation.com. Now, of course, I do tend to stay into the lane that relates to, of course, different things with environment and energy, as well as especially the arts and culture there. However, this should not limit you to, of course, checking out all of the political related topics here too. There's a lot that has to do with politics and society. So if you go onto theconversation.com, they do offer a long list, many different articles that you can find that are on theconversation.com. So for example, the first one, the top one that does come up on this page is, quote, "A need for chaos powers some American support for Elon Musk taking a chainsaw to the U.S. government." So is that article that you can read as well there too. They do offer information on the authors who do write this. So though this particular article does talk a little bit about, of course, the Tesla anti-Elon Musk protesters who have been setting fire to a lot of these Teslas. So if you do want to read a little bit more on those different articles, you can. Now, of course, depending on what the particular news sources are, some of those news sources that are presented onto these articles could very well be biased as well too. So just make sure, of course, that you're aware of that, whether you believe in that bias or not, that there are sometimes those biases that will definitely pop up in these articles. Nonetheless, still though, of course, if you are very much so interested in reading and kind of talking a little bit about these different articles, of course, these are good to take a look at for sure. They do offer a lot of other different things as well too in relationship to politics, so things related to immigration as well too. A recent one that came out here that was from the University of Southern California said, quote, that someone did study mass surveillance for social control as we see Trump laying the groundwork to, quote, contain people of color and immigrants. So if that is an article that might interest you, you can read that, of course. There's also more information, of course, on different things, including national politics, social movements that are going on, of course. Stories about the Great Migration over often. This is an article by Kendra Boyd on Rutgers University, from Rutgers University, mentioning the title of the article, quote, "The story of the Great Migration often overlooks Black businesses that built Detroit." So if this is an article that might find interest to you, you can feel free to check it out. It does go into good information, of course, here when it does talk, especially some statistics. It's also very good to take a look at that too. So I'm just in particular talking about this article here. It talks about Black population growth from 1910 to 1920. So it does relate to Detroit's Black population growth that grew 611% during that decade. So it does tell you those statistics there, and also the sources. That's very important. You've got those sources there. You can go back to those sources and see exactly where these articles get their information from. Some of it, of course, is just conjured up from professional studies. A lot of the authors who do write these articles on theconversation.com have a lot of knowledge. They've studied a lot. They've had personal experiences. And so you are definitely getting a high quality conversation here for sure when it does come to these articles. So I definitely recommend reading them, no matter what your taste might be, no matter what side you might be on or what your beliefs might be. These, theconversation.com does say, quote, academic rigor and journalistic flair. So it is a journalistic page if you want to check it out. There's lots of great conversations out there. I know I usually do tend to talk a lot about theconversation.com in relationship to arts and culture, but do keep in mind too that there are a lot of great articles out there that if you want to educate yourself on and read that do relate to politics, as it is a political talk show. Absolutely make sure that you are educating yourself, checking out different sources, viewing different things. Always good to recognize both sides, or whatever side, whatever you might believe in as well too, So it's good to educate yourself and then decide for yourself too. Sometimes, of course, we as humans can be in an echo chamber and we say, oh, no, I'm not going to read that article because I don't believe in what it says. Well, I encourage you to try to read it just because you might find something that you didn't expect. So always good to do that. Of course, check out more information. Theconversation.com/US is a great website to go to. I do recommend it as well, too. And it's also pretty easy to navigate. I would definitely say so. Taking a look at the time here, it is 4:46. We are going to take our time out here pretty soon. And when we do come back, we will discuss a little bit more here until the time being when 5 o'clock hits. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today to WRMN AM 1410. In fact, I think what I'll do is, because I've been talking about theconversation.com, I'll even pull up an article here that is related to politics and society. We'll talk a little bit about that here, too. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in just a bit.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
Kids today live in a world full of social pressure, bullying, and substance abuse. LEAD has a solution. LEAD connects law enforcement agencies with schools to deliver tested, proven, and effective anti-drugs and violence training to kids. Learn more about LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence, and our work to create safer, healthier communities at leadrugs.org or on social media at We Are LEAD. Sponsored by LEAD, Inc.
Looking for a spotless clean you can count on? Meet Clean King, your local family-owned janitorial service that treats every client like royalty. Fully insured and trusted by businesses across the area, Clean King delivers personalized, top-quality cleaning tailored to your needs at the best price in town. Call now for your free quote at 224-276-6057. That's 224-276-6057. Or visit them at cleankingcleaning.com. That's Clean King, where your quality and service reign supreme. A proud member of the Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, supporting the local business community.
This is it, Bears fans. The moment is almost upon us, and the 2025 NFL Draft is right around the corner. Join us starting at 6:30 p.m. April 24th on WRMN 1410 AM, where myself, Derek Geyer, and Mike Napolitano from On the Rise, alongside Marcus Mack from The Truth About Chicago Sports, will be breaking down every pick, every move, live and unfiltered. You know On the Rise brings the heat. From draft sleepers to breakout stars, we've got you covered. And you know, with Marcus Mack, he always brings the truth about Chicago sports. We'll be bringing you the raw takes Chi-Town needs. So tune in starting at 6:30 p.m. on April 24th for full NFL draft coverage you won't hear anywhere else. Tap in on WRMN 1410 AM. Draft day just got personal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN AM 1410. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today, being a part of the conversation here on A Political Talk Show. This is Matt McNeil. If you are tuning in right now and you think, what? Matt McNeil on A Political Talk Show? Matt is basically a political. Not entirely, though, folks. No, not entirely. And by the way, too, thanks so much for tuning in. Of course, we have Dennis Sonar Green going to be hopping on during the 5 o'clock hour, so stay tuned for that. But I am here to kind of take the hot seat just for a little bit and take over for just a tad here for the next roughly 8 minutes or so. Now, as you know, if you listen to Out to Lunch with WRMN, I do host the show. I love bringing up theconversation.com. This is a great website that does offer a lot of great newsletters and also some good journalism that's out there too. So if you want to take a look at it, you can. There are different articles that you can read. Some of them do relate, well, they have many different categories here. The ones that I usually tend to focus on are the arts and culture, food and restaurants, and things like that, especially when it comes to also like environment and energy and AI. I like to talk a lot about that here too. But I do also want to bring to fruition as well that there are different articles about politics and society and science and other things as well, ethics and religion. So, of course, here at A Political Talk Show, we do like to, of course, talk about politics and things of that nature. So let's go through and see this article that was written here. It was not too long ago written, that it was by Kevin A. Young, an associate professor of history at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. So let's read a little bit about this article here. And this is an article in relationship to social movements. Now, social movements are constrained, Trump in his first term more than people realize. So this article was written March 18th of 2025 by Kevin A. Young. Now, Donald Trump's first term as president saw some of the largest mass protests seen in the U.S. in over 50 years, from the 2017 Women's March to the 2020 protest after George Floyd's murder. Things feel different this time around. Critics seem quieter, some point of fear of retribution, but there's also a sense that the protests of Trump's first term were ultimately futile. This had contributed to a widespread mood of despair. Now, the article does continue on to read, quote, as the New York Times noted not so long ago, Trump had, quote, not appeared to be swayed by protests, petitions, hashtag campaigns, or other tools of mass dissent. That is a common perspective these days. Now, Kevin Young here, who is a historian, says, quote, I study how our narratives about the past shape our actions in the present. That is very true, of course. What you might do in the past, of course, can definitely shape the present. You might, of course, find that there are things that are progressive, things that are a little bit more on the regressive side of things, I guess if that's correct. Regressive on this side of things, or might stay the same. Different things on, and that just depends on what you find progressive and what you don't either. But nonetheless, still, narratives about the past do shape actions for the present. And in this case, particularly important to get the history right. In fact, popular resistance in Trump's first term accomplished more than many observers realize. It's just that most wins happen outside of the spotlight. Now, this is, again, author Kevin A. Young writing, quote, in my view, the most visible tactics, petitions, hashtags, occasional marches in Washington had less impact than the quieter working of organizations and communities and workplaces. Now, this is something I personally also agree with, too. I think that when that sometimes when you work behind the scenes and things, you can get a lot of things done versus when you might just be speaking things rather than just speaking, you're actually doing. So I do definitely agree with this, from my opinion, in a certain way, too. Whether you might agree with it or not is up to you. But so when understanding when movements succeeded during Trump's first term is important for identifying how activists can effectively oppose Trump's policy in a second administration. So this is where the article then does start to break down. And this is how all of these articles are usually laid out, is there is a little bit of a breakdown. So I'll visually show it to you as well, too, that you can check out. This is the how it is usually laid out. So there is usually a start to it. There is kind of that intro to it. It does get you all of course, the quote unquote ingredients in the wrap, and then there is the wrap up as well too, which is more towards the end of the article here. So continuing on reading a little bit on this article for you, there are just some other points that are made. So the first one here to kind of start off the article is, quote, quiet victories of the sanctuary movement. Mass deportation has been a cornerstone of Trump's agenda for more than a decade, yet despite his early pledge to create a, quote, deportation force that would expel millions, Trump deported only half as many people in his first term as Barack Obama did in his first term. Progressive activists were a key reason. By combining decentralized organizations and nationwide resource sharing, they successfully pushed scores of state and local governments to adopt sanctuary laws that limited cooperation with immigration and custom enforcement, or ICE. When socialist Adam Safer examined thousands of cities and dozens of states, he found that a specific type of sanctuary law that activists supported, by barring local jails and prisons from the active cooperation with ICE, successfully reduced ICE arrests. A study by legal scholar David K. Hausman confirmed this finding. And another thing, too, about articles as well, especially in theconversation.com, is they do actually have gray highlighted sections. Now, these gray highlighted sections are great, especially when it does come to linking to other sources. And so you can even go into further detail on what they might be talking about. So this is what I love about theconversation.com and these articles, is that they do give you a lot of resources here, even if they are just direct links through particular sentences. So it's very good to take a look at that too. Another important influence on the state and local officials was employees' resistance to mass deportation. The e-verifying system required employees to verify workers' legal status went virtually unenforced. And again, that term virtually unenforced, there is a gray outline on it. You can actually take a look at it, and it does go to another link. So there are many different sublinks to this article. And this is just one article here. There are tons of different sublinks that you can go to. So not only does this article, of course, give you a lot of information, they also go further into allowing for you to click on those links to go into more, even further information on that too, and the confirmation of those. So it's definitely good to go into that. I know I'm kind of breaking down even just the outline here, and we're already into the 5 o'clock hour. I didn't even get through the whole the whole article here. As someone who doesn't usually talk politics, I'm way more into finding all of the different little things here and there too, working through kind of the, I don't even know, mathematics of it, or just kind of the layout of things. I don't know. I went more into detail on the layout of how the conversation articles work than the actual article itself. But nonetheless, still, hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. Sonar should be on pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. We've got Mark Ellis in the comments. I'm going to start a show called We Political Talk Show. Hey, I like it. I like it indeed. Stay tuned. You are listening to a political talk show here on WRMN AM 1410, and we'll be back with more in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. Farmers are likely to be hit hard in President Trump's trade war with China. News Nation's Tom Dempsey reports the administration, while not giving much information, says it would stand behind the nation's farmers.
The front line when it comes to this trade war is the personal impact being felt by Americans here, and that includes farmers right now. They're really feeling the impact of this trade war with China being a top export market for all sorts of crops. But President Donald Trump saying that help could be coming soon. He actually posted to Truth Social recently reaffirming his support for farmers and saying the U.S. would protect them without going into detail.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Trump is discussing a possible bailout for farmers, similar to the tens of billions of dollars he gave them during his first presidency. The Federal Reserve chairman says it's unclear what direction the U.S. economy is headed in amid uncertainty over the president's tariff policies. News Nation's Raquel Martin reports.
The U.S. economy remains on shaky ground, according to the Federal Reserve chairman.
The data we have in hand so far suggests that growth has slowed in the first quarter of this year.
Jerome Powell told a crowd in Chicago President Donald Trump's tariff standoff with dozens of countries is putting American businesses in a bind and making his mandate to bring down inflation more difficult.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation. The inflationary effects could also be more persistent.
Powell also says how much tariffs could impact consumer prices and the job market depends on what the White House does next. For WRMN News, I'm Dennis Green.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Alan Walters, reporting the Elgin News from April 15, 1925. Rat-infested City Hall is being rid of pests. Elgin's rat-infested City Hall was expected to be rid of the rodents by nightfall as a result of an anti-rat campaign conducted by the health department. Under the methods of the modern Pied Piper, the rats are fed poisoned fish and hamburger. The poisoned food causes the rats to search for air and water. As quickly as they take a sip of water, death is practically instantaneous. The campaign will be continued throughout the city. The manufacturing and downtown districts will be visited first, followed by a block-by-block drive against the rats in the residential localities. Wigwag system at 4 rail crossings. A wigwag system with warning bells and lights will be installed at 4 grade crossings of the Chicago and Northwestern Railroad as a result of today's passage of an ordinance by the City Council ordering the change. Under the ordinance, gates at the Dexter Avenue, Division Street, Douglas Avenue, and Milwaukee Street crossings will be removed and a signal system substituted. The railroad will employ a tower man at either Division or Milwaukee Street to operate the wigwag system by pushing a button. The tower man will be on duty from 7:15 a.m. to 11:15 p.m.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.com.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, a strong chance of showers and thunderstorms with cloudy skies and a high near 64. Temperatures falling to around 57. Gusty winds with speeds up to 35 miles per hour. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms likely, mostly cloudy with a low around 56. Currently, it is 57 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 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 There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
Hello, my fellow Americans, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being a part of the show. Thanks for listening, watching, being engaged. Engagement isn't just the chat. It isn't just the call-ins. It isn't just the emails, the messages on social media. It is engagement with your mind. And even then, I don't even mind being a little bit of background music for you, but I appreciate you being here. Baseball game is over. Matt McNeil got to hang around. I appreciate him doing that, even covering a little bit of time for us about the traffic. And my goodness, that weather. It was kind of a little bit of the weather affecting the traffic, not necessarily the other way around, but excuse me, both of them decided to make sure that I wasn't here until the top of the hour. But I appreciate everybody who is in the YouTube side already. Brendan's over there, Mark's over there, Crystal's over there, Bob. I see Donna. Great to see you guys. Thanks for being over there. So, what am I talking about? Video on the radio? Well, it is on YouTube. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. You can find us in our channel. Hope you subscribe. Hope you like it. WRMN Radio is the place to find that content. We start the stream at 6 in the morning, and we continue to keep going on because we want to make sure that we give people the opportunity to listen to community radio through whatever medium they can get together. If we can run a radio station, surely we can run a YouTube side. Hey, Brendan, good to see you there. We're going to talk a little bit today about, like most days, I suppose, we're going to talk about our legislation. We're going to take a little bit of some political side to things. Mark Ellis comes in on the chat, and it is very appropriate. He said he's going to start calling the show We Political Talk Show. Because this is a show for everyone, despite what you may hear, despite what you may, feel about how we deliver the news or what we deliver or the news that is happening. We want to make sure everybody has a voice. We want to make sure everybody feels welcome to the discussion. We don't need to call names. We don't need to attack character. Decisions are what we're looking at. Ideas are what we're looking at. Actions. When we start thinking about this time of year and we think about the resurrection and we think about the Bible, a few places the Bible talks about how we need to stay out of frivolous arguments. Paul talks about that. Paul also talks about, well, I think it's Paul, about how we will know them by their fruits. We will know them by what happens around them. Matthew's a great book as well, even if you're not religious. Just talking about I believe it's the 5th chapter, where it's more about humility, more about holding your brother accountable only after you fix yourself. So we have a secular scripture. We have a secular humanitarianist type of system that we have here. And it isn't just what we all think is fair here in America or the Constitution. It's based off of fairness over centuries of oppression. And when we lose sight of that, when we just put it into, well, you know what? It's just a law. It's just one county. It's one circuit judge. It's one court. It's one nation. It's one economic sphere. It's one world. You see where it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's the foot in the door mentality. If you study sociology or psychology, I'm not necessarily sure which one it falls into primarily, but when you let somebody take in one little thing and it kind of snowballs, right? Hey, can I borrow a pen? Oh man, it's raining outside. Do you mind giving me a ride? Can I borrow $5? We all know where it escalates, where it goes, where it keeps going there. Snowballing, slippery slope, whatever colloquialisms you want to put together. And that works as well for our rights and our concept of fairness. Benjamin Franklin warned us that we would have liberty for as long as we could keep it. He also have been known to say that if you give up your freedom for safety, you really deserve neither. And so when we put people in that take oaths, or we put a system in place and rely on that system, and we don't tend to that system, and we don't nurture it, and we don't take care of it, if we don't water the tree of liberty, right? The tree of liberty must be watered from time to time by the blood of patriots and tyrants. Patriots comes first on that one, by the way. We have to put the time in, and a lot of the time is knowing what's going on and not burying our heads in the sand. If you call yourself a true patriot, if you say you love America, you say it's freedom that lets you sleep at night, it's the boots on the ground, the soldiers in theater, the sailors, the airmen, the spacemen now. If that's what you say it is, then let's champion that. Let's champion that freedom. Let's not champion a party. Let's not champion a person. Let's not champion an ideal. The only ideal that needs to be championed is what we all agree to by living here and being citizens. And part of that is a rich history of benefit of the doubt, coming before a court, the legal system in which we use here, not just because you can do something, right? Just because you got to rob 5 banks before you were thrown in jail doesn't make you good. And what we're running into now is that the system that we put together is imperfect. And one of the things that we all know how imperfect it is its speed. The same people that you hear talk about how we can't let criminals just out on the street for this no bail and this no other thing are the same people that are saying, let him do whatever he wants to. Let the courts decide eventually. And so, yes, in this legislation Thursday, we are going to talk about Kilmore Abrego Garcia, but more into line with the rights that you and I have erode every time those rights aren't given to the ones that deserve it. Who deserves it? Everyone on this country, everybody in this land. And so I don't want to be hyperbole guy. I know I've been accused of such. But before we go to break, I want to leave you with a logic experiment. I want somebody to answer the question and see if there's something other that maybe I'm missing. But if a sitting president defies the Supreme Court's order and the Congress does not impeach, what is the other check? You'd be hard-pressed to find it. Lots of people would be hard-pressed to find it because there is none. And even before this last election, we were talking about the Supreme Court order in which we are no longer allowed to question the President of the United States. And this was back when President Biden was still in term. And so I want you to think about that question. I want you to think about if Biden or any president told the Supreme Court to take a hike and the Congress did not impeach, what would be the other remedy? Because we know it would have to be remedied, right? Right? Apolitical Talk Show. Be right back.
The Moose Lodge 799 in Elgin is a place to connect with family, friends, and your community. Moose Lodge 799 is conveniently located at 925 South McLean Boulevard, and they offer fun family activities, exciting community service projects, and live entertainment on the weekends. At Moose Lodge 799, you'll find a place to relax, make new friends, and be part of something bigger, like supporting the kids of Mooseheart. Doors at Moose Lodge 799 open at 2 p.m. Tuesday through Friday and at 11 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Join a welcoming group of members who share a passion for good times and giving back. Call 847-741-0799. That's 847-741-0799 for more information, or stop by and see what they are all about. Moose Lodge 799 in Elgin, where family, friends, and community are always invited to join.
Fitting in shouldn't be hard, whether in life, on the court, or in the classroom. At Elgin Community College, you could find your place alongside those expanding their horizons, exploring rewarding careers, and achieving their dreams. A place for doers, thinkers, and believers. At ECC, we see you, we believe in you, and you'll fit right in. Learn more at elgin.edu/belong.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yup, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hello and welcome back to a political talk show on WRMN, WRMN 1410 AM and WRMN1410.com. Simulcast live on YouTube, youtube.com. You can find us at WRMN Radio. I'm sure a search engine or two knows who we are. That's Spyglass. What do they call it? The magnifying glass? The Spyglass, things like that. Thank you for being here. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. We're talking about due process today, something that you and I take for granted. For most of us here in the United States, we feel comfortable interacting with the police. We feel comfortable interacting with the government, with law enforcement, with judges, with bailiffs, with lawyers. And we feel comfortable about that because of a system of laws. Now, we can boil it all the way down to a republic, right? The Republicans, the Democratic Republicans, part of the world. A republic is a group of people who agree on laws that are supposed to be there and laws that are for everyone. And the biggest thing that we ran into before 1215 was that laws did not apply to everyone. And even then, after 12/15, heck, after yesterday, laws don't apply to everyone. But the goal, right? The goal, the law, the system, the game, the rules. We enter a society because we think about the fairness. We aren't marauders, and we haven't torn down everything, and we're not living in the end times of, I don't know, pick any zombie movie or Mad Max or anything like that. And the reason that we have that is because of the rules, not because you can do things, right? There are lots of things you can do, are able to do. You're absolutely able to drive the opposite direction down the highway. Are you able to do this? Yes. And I hate to boil it down to can and may, right? You remember that. Can I have a cookie? Can you? Can you get cookies? Are you able to move your hands and get the cookies? Or is it, may I have cookies? Are you asking permission? Or are you telling me about your ability, right? We've all had that conversation. Trying to lay on the over sarcasm there. And the court system is what we talk about with may. May I do this? Mother, may I? Mrs. Wolf, what time is it? May I move the steps? Red light, green light, Simon says, right? We don't need to pretend about fairness. We know what it is. We know it so much. We have had fairness in the way that it has been documented for hundreds of years before our country was even a little speck in the revolutionaries' eyes. And part of that is that laws are applicable to everyone. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh my goodness, he's beating up on the president. This is all about the president. No. I'm talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told you that at the beginning. The laws apply to everyone. Your day in court. Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, 14th Amendment, Eighth Amendment. Would you call being sent to a different country's prison cruel and unusual? And so, regardless of what you think someone has done, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you can do to someone, we have to obey the laws. And the laws say that Kilmar Abrego Garcia should be put before our courts. Don't take it up with me. You're going to have to be a time traveler to 1215 to the Magna Carta or 1780s. Apolitical Talk Show will be right back. We'll give you some of the story of what's happening and some of what we're talking about here has actually said. What are some of the quotes from the Magna Carta? What is it from the judges themselves? We'll look at some legal arguments as well. Stick around. Apolitical Talk Show. We'll be right back. I see ya. Michael Scott. The country he's from is definitely different.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Prevnar. Kane County Under Sheriff Amy Johnson is preparing to run for sheriff in 2026, backed by outgoing Sheriff Ron Hain. Johnson, who first joined the sheriff's office in 2004, is seeking the Democratic nomination, and her bid marks a significant chapter as she aims to become the first woman to be elected Kane County Sheriff. The U46 Educational Foundation is hosting its 5th annual 5K Walk for Autism Acceptance on Saturday, April 26th at Centennial Elementary School, 234 East Stearns Road in Bartlett. The event is scheduled to run from 9:30 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. Naperville is celebrating Beth Ward as the 2025 Telecommunicator of the Year during the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. According to the Naperville Police Department, Beth, who has dedicated nearly 4 years to serving the community, stands out not just as a telecommunicator, but as the lead telecommunicator and tactical dispatcher. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today. And speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m., then mostly cloudy with a low around 56. Gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour. Looking ahead to tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms before 10 a.m., then partly sunny with a high near 81. Currently, it is 55 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello and welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. We're talking habeas corpus and other Latin words. Habeas corpus literally means I believe, show me the body. To be shown in front of, to be able to be challenged. Michael comes in, says, you mean the country he's from or a different country? I think that's in regards to what I said about cruel and unusual punishment, being deported, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's only cruel and unusual when you haven't been charged with the crime, right? To be punished without being charged with anything or being in front of a judge, I would find that unusual. But, you know, that's just me. So in that same vein, I understand where the argument is coming from. I see it. I understand. Not supposed to be here, right? Not legal. Seeking asylum is legal immigration. International law, you're looking at the 1951 Refugee Convention. 1967 protocol in which the U.S. is a signatory, requires countries not to return refugees to places where they face serious threats of their life or freedom. Mr. Abrego Garcia said that if I was sent back to El Salvador, I would not be free. And that is because we allow asylum from dictatorships. I don't know if you know this or not, but El Salvador is run by the self-proclaimed coolest dictator. This isn't, you know what, we shipped them all to Nebraska. We stuck them on an island out there. Also, the Immigration and Nationality Act allows non-citizens who are physically present in the United States or arriving at a port of entry to apply for asylum, regardless of how they entered the country. And if you don't like it, change the laws. Don't just do whatever you want to because you can do the thing. Can I go over, flip the table, take all the money out of the Monopoly tray and go home with the bottle of wine that I brought to game night? Yes, I can. Will I be invited again to game night? Will game night cease to exist? Sure. But I got all that Monopoly money. Tasty won the game. And so when you argue break more laws, or cheer on someone who breaks laws, you're no better than the people that cheer on the riots. Burn down another property, hurt another store manager. Break the laws. Yeah, breaking the laws. And so we can talk about morality, we can talk about this, we can talk about revolution, we can talk about changing things. Is the law good, bad, otherwise? Sure. But who gets to pick which ones? We all do, knucklehead. We get to pick the laws. We pick the people that make the laws if they are willing to make the laws. Or are they willing to line their pockets? And so decade after decade, we continue to vote for the same people over and over and over again. Because they're defending democracy from the tyrants. And the reason I can say it like that is because I don't have to say both sides do it. I just have to say what's happening, and you get to fill in the blanks. Because those of you that know and can see that it's not just a red and a blue jersey match, you get to see outside of that. Magna Carta 1215, Clause 39. No free man shall be seized or imprisoned, disposed, outlawed, exiled, or ruined in any way, nor any way proceeded against, except by the lawful judgment of his peers and the law of the land. Fifth Amendment sums that up as no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law. And those of you that think the Constitution only applies to you and me, ones that are citizens, only the law, I guess, applies to us, then fine. Once we start seeing more and more people start breaking those laws, then yes, put them in court and get rid of them. But you advocating for breaking laws isn't anything different. Jury of your peers, speedy trial. These things are the cornerstone of the United States of America. And those of you that think that that piece of paper, that document, that cornerstone of America only applies to those that are citizens, wait until they change what a citizen is. Habeas corpus, the Constitution, the teachings of the Magna Carta belong to us all. Those of you that took an oath to spread freedom and democracy around the world know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't live up to your oaths know exactly what you're cowering from. More Apolitical Talk Show after this.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now to get away and get treatment.
800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. Call right now. Help is standing by. 800-694-1127.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to rock? At School of Rock Elgin, located Located at 353 South Randall Road, we're more than just music lessons. We're a community. Whether you're an absolute beginner or a seasoned musician, our performance-based curriculum is designed to transform your skills and confidence. From learning new instruments to rocking a full-blown concert, we bring out the best in every musician, no matter their level. Join the School of Rock Elgin family today, where music isn't just learned, it's lived. Visit the website at elgin.schoolofrock.com to sign up now to get your desired time slot. School of Rock is now open. Unleash your inner rock star.
If your idea of therapy involves a fishing rod, a tree stand, or a campfire, then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John Cruz speaks your language, whether it's about the best lures, tracking game, or that one buddy who always forgets to bring the beer. John's got the tips to sharpen your aim, the hacks to pack lighter, and the stories to keep you entertained. Again, that's American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz. Saturdays at 7 a.m. on WRMN 1410. Or stream it at WRMN1410.com. Get ready to outfish, outhunt, and outcamp them all on American Outdoor Radio with John Cruz.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show. Wrapping it up today. Really appreciate you being here with us. I know it was a short show. Fiery show. But that's okay. Sometimes we got to let it out. Tomorrow we will be celebrating Good Friday. And we'll be having some conversations with the panel about what they celebrate, how they are, what they plan on doing this weekend. If you'd like to let us know what you're doing this weekend, tomorrow's a great day to do it. Send us a text, 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. That's a place to send us messages, pictures. So it's a picture of how many eggs you found. What was the service like? So we got a little off track coming back from the bottom of the hour break. Let's get back to due process and the laws that make sure that Mr. Garcia, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is entitled to. Because even though the person wasn't here or didn't get here through the first round of legal ways, they were in the process of the second legal way, and that is asylum. Now, you don't have to take that up with him. You don't have to take that up with me. You can take that up with the government itself, the laws in which we pass. Everyone wants to talk about the legal way. Was the legal way. At the time of his removal, Garcia was under the protection of a court order explicitly prohibiting his deportation. That sounds pretty legal to me. The order issued by U.S. District Judge Zenas cited credible fear of persecution and potential harm if Garcia were returned to his native country. which again, sounds pretty legal to me. Despite this legal protection, Garcia was apprehended and placed on a flight to El Salvador. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, later referred to the deportation as an administrative error. Okay, so that blows up the other argument or another reason of the back to the country. Should have sent him back. But this error had devastating consequences. Upon arrival in El Salvador, Garcia was imprisoned in one of the country's most notorious facilities, despite having no criminal record or documented gang affiliation. So again, I ask you, we've talked about this before. We've talked about our community members. We've talked about the people that live around us. We've talked about the ones that contribute to our society. And we talked about the 17th and 18th century definition of citizen. And I'm sorry if you weren't here for those conversations. They were great. Ask your friends. One of the good ones, I think, might be in your vernacular, dear listener, or what you have heard. Who gets to decide that? Did you say judge? Yes. Someone should judge that. And I'm not saying that the federal government is wrong with their evidence, right? Maybe they have something that they don't want to share with anybody. Okay. Again, benefit of the doubt. Innocent until proven guilty. And so we won't know. Again, our courts have failed us. Again, our government has failed us to give us the answer. Justice delayed is justice denied. And we don't have to talk about the previous administration. We don't have to talk about Jack Smith. We don't have to talk about documents. We don't have to talk about interference in elections. We don't have to talk about any of those things. Let's talk about due process for what we are supposed to assume is an innocent man until proven guilty in a court and jury of his peers. Let's talk about that. Life, liberty, property. It doesn't say citizen, doesn't say subject, doesn't say taxpayer. It says person. Non-citizens, including undocumented immigrants, are entitled to certain constitutional protections, including due process. The U.S. Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that the government cannot deport individuals without legal proceedings. And yet here we are, because of Can versus May. Can I have a cookie? Yes, you are physically able to climb on the counter and grab a cookie. Can you? May I? Is this something that I am allowed to do? Not the do it and we'll see what the court has to say about it. Let me just drive into the guardrails. The guardrails are there to make sure that I don't fall off the cliff. Why not just use them? That's what they're there for, right? The guardrails are supposed to make sure I don't fall off the cliff. Why should I use the steering wheel? Why should I tap the brakes? The guardrail's there. It's supposed to make sure that I don't do anything stupid. And yet we want to continue to cheer on slamming into guardrails. We want to continue to cheer on the erosion of what we hold dear. Laws. What stops you from driving on the other side of the road? Laws. What stops you from just slamming into the guardrail? Laws. But sometimes people slip up. That's why the guardrail is there. It isn't a track. It's a safety net. Who would watch a trapeze artist that all they did was jump from the platform into the safety net over and over and hope that the swing comes to them? Now, I heard that I'm supposed to wait 100 days. It's okay. Benefit of the doubt. I want to ask you, who gave Kilmore Abrego Garcia the benefit of the doubt? And if that's what you want me to do, then let's do it the other direction. Sonar, you don't know him. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. I don't know Kilmar Abrego Garcia either. Do you want to know how we find out if people are criminals, if they are part of gangs, if they will harm people? Due process. And that's fine. You can have a different argument. You can say, look, I don't want these people or that person or anybody like this here. It's fine. But I want you to know that what you are advocating for is illegal. Don't burn a Tesla over it. Thanks for listening to Apolitical Talk Show. Tomorrow we've got the Free Speech Friday panel. Hope you can join in. Coverage starts at 4. We've got a couple of weird and wacky things to talk about, not just the serious stuff. Check out our YouTube page as well. AAA Roofing Contractors, Inc. is the first video on our small business spotlight. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening for all of your local coverage here in the Fox River Valley. Apolitical Talk Show on WRMN. Have a good night.
Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain until one day the prescriptions